Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan, and today I'm going to talk about 5 luxury items that I would rather have than buy a Chanel black classic flap. Particularly I'm talking about in like the medium or the jumbo size. They're just really pricing me out. If you saw my last video talking about 5 bags under $5,000 that I would rather have than buy a Chanel classic flap, then you'll know the context of this video. Essentially, I just recently bought a Chanel 19, and that means not spending really any extra money, like, for several months. And I knew that going in, it was a decision I made. I think it's something that we should all think about before making these purchases. I am so much more mindful of my spending now that I'm into luxury shopping. And in fact, I really do break down my budget every single year, look at my expendable income. I make a rough wish list. These videos are more focused on wish list things rather than telling anyone they shouldn't buy a Chanel classic flap. I would never tell someone that, if it's the bag you love, then you should save and get it. That's just how that goes. But for me, given that I have a black mini reissue and a white classic flap, I tried on the black one 2 times now, once in caviar and once in lambskin, and it just didn't make my heart sing. It definitely wasn't, singing the kind of chorus that would have to justify a $7,000 bag. I think they're very soon going to price me out for any classic flap, but I would actually be more likely to consider a color over the black one. Okay, so I have my notebook here, and these are some of the things that are on my wish list, and I would rather be able to pick up, one of these pieces every few months than think about getting a Chanel classic flap and have to save and then, not spend for many months, to be able to get that purchase. So first on my, I guess you could call this a wish list, it would have to be a Burberry trench. I love coats. I've wanted one for so long, and for some reason I just haven't bought it. I think I was more focused on bags for a while, but I love the Burberry trench. I mean, how can you, if you're a classic dresser, just how can you not love the Burberry trench? They also take great care of their customers. They do consider this piece to be a long-term buy. I know that they'll actually change out the lining for you if you buy the Burberry trench in a Burberry store and you develop that relationship, all your purchases are saved on file. I've been treated so well every time I go in there because I have bought one bag from them, and they know me now. I love their trenches, and the fact that they actually take care of the item long after you buy it, I think is incredible. I don't know if that's true for many bags. So I love coats. I have such a big coat collection. I can't believe I haven't bought one yet, but I would absolutely rather buy a Burberry trench versus a Chanel classic flap, and those are under $2,000. The reason I haven't bought one yet is because it's a lot of money for a coat, but anyway. Okay, next would have to be an Hermes scarf. All of these things are going to be luxury. All of them are going to be things I really don't need, but in my big, I don't know, dreamy wish list, I would love to get an Hermes scarf one day. They're just stunning. I love scarves anyway. I like silk scarves. I feel like they just really elevate my outfit, and I'm kind of a lazy dresser. So yes, absolutely an Hermes scarf. And the one that I've kind of had my eye on, it's a lot, but it's still a lot less than a Chanel classic flap. I also love that they have so many different colors, and you're never going to have the same one as a bunch of other people. There's just something a little bit special and unique about it. Anyway. Next on my list would have to be a piece of Rose d'Avance jewelry from Dior. I've definitely gotten more into jewelry recently. They're beautiful. They're really just different and subtle, and no one would know that they're from Dior. I just love the star design. I think it's really special. Next on my ultimate wish list is, I didn't really think about this as a wish list video before I sat down and started talking about it, but it really is things that I would rather have versus putting money towards a Chanel classic flap, certainly this year. The next thing would have to be a pair of Manolo Lurms. And if you've seen my video, then you already know I have a pair in the yellow. I just love that shoe. Yeah. If you're saving towards a bag, it is not a good idea to spend a bunch of money on shoes because they are very pricey for shoes and they can quickly add up to the price of a bag. But I would rather have my whole Manolo collection than a Chanel classic flap. That's just how I feel about it. And I would really like to get another pair in a really bright color, even like the pink. I could go for the navy, but there's just something special about that shoe in a loud color. Lastly, I would have to say I would rather get a pearl necklace than a Chanel classic flap. Like a real pearl necklace, not like the resin beads that a lot of these fashion houses use. Just something really simple and elegant, and it will actually last forever. You know, I mean, hundreds of years. You can pass it on to your children. You have to buy it once, and you cannot say that for these bags. I know that people talk about, you know, passing them on to their kids. It really depends on how much you wear it. If it's the bag for you, that's all that matters. But if you're talking about buying it for other people's reasons and as like an investment, I don't know if that's a good idea. Yeah, you have to get it because you love it, and I don't love it enough to spend the money. I would rather have a real pearl necklace from a proper jewelry store. They're just, you know, they're gorgeous. And again, I'm kind of a lazy dresser, so looking at these jewelry pieces would really elevate an outfit. And roughly, you know, maybe I'll put the total up at the end on the side, but I think all of these would be just around the same price all together as a Chanel classic flap. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my kind of like semi wish list video comparing everything in the context of like, would I rather have these or a Chanel classic flap? Because that is actually how I weigh these decisions. I look at my wish list and think, okay, would I rather have this or everything else I could buy with that money? Because, you know, no one's just handing these things over and no one's just dishing out paychecks, you know? It is something that I have to think a long time about, so I hope that this was interesting to watch, just something different in this kind of context. Anyway, if you liked it, please consider liking and subscribing. I would love to have you back here and talk to you more in the comments. It was really great making this video, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!